sum up 2022, and this speaks for all of us, was learning. We learned a lot in 2022.
So the plan for 2023 would be first quarter, Eli dropping his body.
Eli. Main focus right now is just to get it jumping.
Most likely be the talk of the town.
So that nigga, when I get lit, bro, I'm taking it with me, bro. I swear to God, bro.
I'm here at the Aqua Lounge. We about to talk about my new album, Scorpio.
You kill me? Why is that even on your brain? Why is that on your cranium? I personally think the nicest nigga to never get a ring is AI.
Yo, welcome back to the Aqua Lounge podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in this week. We got a special guest in the building, goes by the name of Cxge. What's happening?
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling. I just got out of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Double shift. I woke up at 5. I work at CVS.
Oh, shit.
I got there at 6 and worked till 11:30. Then went to the airport nearby.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it, but I work at the airport. I detail, and so I worked there from then till now.
Okay.
And now I'm doing this, and then afterwards studio.
All right.
It's always a long day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be here.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice break.
The airport.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, can we bleep it?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could bleep it out.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Dope, man.
Man.
Yeah. So let's take it back from the beginning. So tell us your journey, how you kind of got into the world of rap, and how did that kind of get started?
Rap was weird for me because my dad was a DJ,
Okay.
and he was always trying to get me to rap in the car since I was a little kid. I play basketball a lot. I'm a tall dude. I'm 6'5", but
Yeah.
and so it was a basketball family too. Both my sisters was 5 at basketball. So in the car, he'd always take me to practices and stuff because every now and then he was my coach. So he'd always be putting on a beat. He'd be like, "Yo, freestyle," and I'm like, "Nah, that ain't it." Because Lil Me was with my mom in church whenever I wasn't in practice. So I had connotated rap with, guns and violence and drugs and all this stuff that I wasn't supposed to be. So I was never super interested in the life. Come 6th grade, I'm finally in middle school. I'm in middle school with my older sister for 1 year. And I remember she was at the lunch table. We had the same lunch period. And some big ass 8th grader, should have been in 11th grade. He was this bulky dude, had everybody standing around him. He was beating, boom, 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 boom. And like everybody's going crazy. I'm like, what is going on over there? This is my first day in the middle school, and I'm like, what's going on? How can I be part of that? Because they look like they're having a good ass time. Yeah. That looks like the middle school that I see on TV. So I walk over, and damn, it's my sister. It's my sister freestyling, just saying whatever the fuck it, and everybody, oh! And I'm like, bro, I gotta learn how to do that. So that day, I went home and I tried to do it. Didn't think to write anything. Right. I was like, let me make a beat myself and just try to rap. Didn't work out the same way, obviously. And so I put that away for a while. And you remember those the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books?
Yeah.
You know how they had the little notes page at the end so you could write your own story or whatever? I got one of those and I saw her do it again. And I was like, what if I cheat? What if I cheat and I just write it before and then I act like I did it? And so I started writing and I was never good and I was never confident in being able to do it in front of people, but I always liked doing it. Okay. So from that point on, I always wrote. And long ass story. Come high school, we're out of South Carolina. We're up in New York, upstate New York. At this point, I'm living for like a year in Monroe, up in the fucking nowhere. Ugh, nasty ass place. But I make a friend and he makes music. At the time, still not interested in music, but I write. And so, but don't nobody know that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I've gotten accustomed to the rap community at this point. So, on some joking shit, he's like, yo, you got bars? And I'm like, I don't rap, but I write. Shit, what you need a verse? It's like, nah, I don't need a verse, but it sounds like you need a verse. And so I put a little verse on. It wasn't great, but that track specifically started buzzing through the high school that I was in. And so after I left, I was like, I could probably do that. I wasn't in that school for that long, and nobody knew me. I went to East up here. I went there until the middle of 10th grade, and then I moved upstate for 1 year, and then I came back in senior year. So I spent 0 time at that school. All I did was play sports and make music. And so for me to be able to gravitate that much attention, I was like, I could probably do this by myself. So when I got here, I found my little group and I started rapping.
Hell yeah.
Wow, yeah. So I just want to, so going back a little bit. So the song when you were, the first song that went around like your school, right? Yeah. So did you record that in the studio? Did you go to the studio?
Nah, he was, well, his dad coincidentally was a DJ too. That was how it kind of kicked it off.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, he had his own little, he had like a setup that you could record in your car with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
dope.
Just some little something on his bed. And,
Right.
you know, he was like, yeah, I make beats, da da da. I'm not that much of a rapper. I need somebody to rap. I'm like, yeah, I don't rap, but I can write. And it worked out.
Okay.
It wasn't a good song by any sense of the term, but it was better than it should have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell
I
yeah.
feel like people could see that it was better than it should have been.
Right.
All right.
So there's, yeah, for sure.
So after that, so like you said, you saw that, you know, this something could make you can make a little buzz with something. So this is something that you think you can do. So you moved back here to Long Island, and then you right from there, you just kind of started releasing shit.
Well, I didn't have the drive to release stuff
Okay.
when I got here. I kind of just had that in my back pocket. I was like, because I hadn't graduated high school yet. I came back as a senior. So I was like, I'm going to go to school. I wanted to be a film director. So I went to Wilson Tech and got my year degree in cinematography. Wanted to go to Full Sail in Florida. I had this whole plan. And then these niggas come to me again. Like, yo, we need. I made a group chat of a bunch of music friends that I had made, and my intent was to record videos for them. I shoot videos and I edit videos. Nice with Premiere Pro, nice with a camera, nice with the Canon anyway. And so that was what I wanted to do. And then I saw the studio and I was like, oh, this is not no bedroom setup. This is kind of cool.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
my boy Sinful Saint. Shout out Sinful Saint. That boy, he's an awesome dude. His dad had a little setup downstairs, and it was a full studio. Like it was like it looked like the room. Yeah. And so I was like, I gotta try this, man. Because I know I'm nice now, because I hadn't stopped writing since that time that I saw my sister freestyling.
Damn. So
I was
on it.
always writing, never rapping. Took that chance rapping a year prior and was like, okay, maybe. And so now I'm like, I have a little bit of confidence. So I make a song called Hideaway, and I have one of those guys that I mentioned, the ones that I wanted to shoot a video for. His name's Dapo. We're really good friends now. He hopped on that song. That song didn't stream particularly well, but locally it was like, yo, who is this guy?
Okay.
Because people knew Dapo. People knew him around North Babylon and that was the studio I was going to. So people around North Babylon were like, this guy, I don't know who he is, but it's very rare to see somebody match Dapo. Okay. So that kind of introduced me to, oh, I can release stuff and make a name for myself,
Hell yeah.
as opposed to I can just do this.
Okay. All right.
Hell yeah, man. So what about like Long Island? Like, is there any like, I mean, I know you were like back and forth, but like, how in your eyes, what does the music scene look like? Like, do you like the way it's looking right now, or like, do you think we're overlooked?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all are the best part of the music scene. I just found out about Long Island is a what's the damn
Melting pot.
What's the thing? The thing with crabs.
Crab in a bucket.
Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
That's what this place feels like to me.
Yeah.
And I never got that sense in South Carolina. I was born in South Carolina, and I
Okay.
was there till I was 11. And when I got to New York, I was so excited to be part of the whole city life thing and never really got to. And so now that I'm not in high school anymore, I'm making my own money and I'm making my own choices, and I have the capability to do so.
Right.
I'm like, yo, New York City is in our fucking backyard. And that's something that just clicked for me. Like, for most people not even just in the U.S., most people on Earth, New York City is a place that they dream to go to, and some never do. And they die, and the one regret is, I never made it to New York City, man. That sucks. And so I think about that, and I'm like, what the fuck's so good about it? You know, I live right here, and like, no one's running around Long Island. Like, for me, no one's running around Long Island telling me how good the city is. So I never had an interest. And then I go there, and there's a music scene there.
Yeah.
There is a beyond music scene there. There's a scene that involves music. There is no music scene. There is a scene that involves people who produce and people who edit and people who engineer and people who promote and people who are people who have event managers. All those people are gathered in New York all the time. And out of the 800,000 people who walk through Times Square, 30,000 of them are people that you should probably know if you're in the music business. And so that's cool about Long Island. Long Island itself is something that needs some work. Me and my group, or really Dapo, I helped Dapo do this. He was he's another artist in Long Island. He's around the same. He's around the same age as me. He's about a year older. And I'm 22. 23. Just turned 23.
Wow. Okay.
And he put together this studio session. It only lasted a weekend, and he had this idea. It was, let's just bring every Long Island artist that we can into this room over the weekend and try to make the best album we could. It was called Royal Flush, and it dropped in 2021, I think. And man, it was a time. And the album was good, but in the album you could tell it was cultures. And it was a cultural album, and it was a cultural album specific to Long Island that never existed before. So locally it did well. It was hard to market, but we were really proud of doing that. So we want to do something on a bigger scale this year.
Okay, wow. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
And I just wanted to just go back a little bit more. Like, who were you like listening to, when you were growing up, and yeah, like if you could remember.
I hate when I get these questions. I hate when my friends ask me these questions because everybody's like, "Oh, when I was growing up, I was listening to LL Cool J and Nas and Tupac and Biggie," and I really wasn't.
Yeah.
My dad, regardless of me being from South Carolina, both of my parents are from New York. Mm-hmm. So Jay-Z was huge in my family. So I got a lot. When I wanted to get my bars off, I acted like Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm a modern listener. I didn't start listening to music until I started rapping, really. I got so interested in the game that I had to study the game, and within that, I had to study the entirety of music. I had to understand why people like rock. Rock was such a weird thing to me, and then I got into it, and now I like Blink 182.
Yeah.
Man, they got some fire in that motherfucker. And if you would have showed me that at 13, I'd be like, what the hell are you showing me, bruh? And so I listened to Chance the Rapper. I listened to Lil Yachty, Juice WRLD, obviously. Who's in it? Baby Keem's in there a lot. Y'all know Revale?
Nah.
Man, he is do you know Revale? Man, he is an underrated artist. He's just different. I wish I had got into music earlier because I like weird stuff. Not in the sense that, it doesn't make sense, but that you wouldn't have thought to do it,
it's like
right?
experimental.
Yeah. And so had I got into music when I was like 14, 15, stuff like Odd Future, man. Oh, I wish I would have gotten to that earlier. Yeah. Imagine how good I'd be now if I was studying Tyler and Earl back then, bro. I just figured out about Tyler in like 2018.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just figured out about Earl 2019. Didn't even know they did skits until 2019.
Wow.
Like, I did not do my research back then because I just wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And so
what were you listening to though? Like what?
I wasn't listening to anything.
Yeah,
not back then.
Literally not. Okay.
Like from birth till 15, maybe 16, music was not that big a part of my life.
Okay.
Other than the writing part of it.
Right.
And that just translated into, I'm a writer. And so I never thought to continue this path of music. I said, I found writing in music. Let me pursue writing. And I don't think that was the right way for me. And I even went to college for that, and I still didn't think that was the right way for me. Okay. And so,
yeah. I could relate a little bit with like producing wise. Having to like start it and then kind of have to go back and like do your like research and just like
had to do your homework.
Yeah, and just
started late.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Weird.
I always say I wish I was making beats in high school You know what I mean?
me
Like,
too, yeah.
if I was doing that again, like you said, where would I be right now? You know what I mean? Like,
And I get people that question me, and that kind of annoys me because at this point I'm very arrogant with my craft, and so when people go, "Oh, I've been doing this since 03," and like they're 36, and they're like, "Oh, you haven't been at it since the jump," and this, that, and the third, and I'm like, well, if you're 36 and you've been doing it for 23 years, why are you in the same position as me? That doesn't make any sense. Is it because you love the game more? That's what's going to get you further? Is the love of the game connotational with how long you've been in it? I don't think so. I know a lot of people or not personally, but I'm sure there's a lot of people in 30-year, 40-year, 50-year relationships, marriages, and they don't give a fuck about their partner.
yeah.
So, and I know a lot of people who are in 2-month relationships who have exhibited more relationship qualities than those people who are in 50-year relationships. And so, obviously, you can't be in the game for 2 months and then be better than everybody else. And I'm not expecting to be that. I call myself the best 6 years into the game because that's how I feel. And at this point, I think I not only deserve to feel that way, but should feel that way as a rapper, because I don't think you can get through the game without feeling that way. So I don't take, right? Like,
That's a fact. It's a gem right there, bro.
And people get mad. And I'm like, if you're a fan of the rap game, if you're a fan of hip hop, or you indulge yourself in hip hop, you are not allowed to feel that way towards anybody, or else you really don't understand what this is. The basis of hip hop is competition. It was rap is rhythm and poetry, and that was used for leisure, and that was used for competition. Nothing else. So if you're listening to music, you're either listening to chill, or you're listening because you think this guy is better than somebody else. That's just it. And so when you're downplaying competition, you're downplaying that half of the game, and I don't like that at all. I'm with all smoke. I'm with it all.
So what are some things that sets you apart from other artists and other rappers in your eyes?
Because I'm not afraid to be me. I've been me for a while. I've been me since I was 16. I don't know what happened when I was 16. Something broke, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. It takes too much energy to give a fuck. Like, to give a fuck all the time.
It's true.
No. So I figured that out, and having figured that out, I think that was a jump start for me as far as a music career goes, because that's what so many people have a difficult time with. They feel like they have to give a fuck. You really don't. Like, you have to give a fuck to a degree. You have to give a fuck about numbers to a degree. You can't be doing 4 streams and acting like you're the best. Come on. But you can't give a fuck if something does 30,000 and you expected it to do 90. You can't. Because if you do, you're gonna quit. because you could really go 3 years without growing, and then that 4th year, you boom. You know the story about that swimmer? I don't know where she was swimming to. I wish I had a better memory so I could recollect stories better. But there was a swimmer, and she was swimming from point A to point B, and that distance was a lot of miles. And it got foggy, and she had tried this a ton of times, and she was getting further and further with each attempt, and she's just tired, and the fog set in, and it wasn't fog it was clear, and the fog sets in, and she's like, I can't do it anymore. I have no idea how far I am, and my bones are giving out on me. I can't do it. And there's a boat following her for safety, obviously, because you can't just have somebody stranded in the middle of the fucking ocean with a helicopter recording them. She hops on the boat. Time is done. She's officially quit. Fog rises, or I don't think they like tracked it with something. They tracked it, and they saw she was only a mile away from the destination. And she was so tired, and she couldn't see how far she had to go to win. And she was like, I'll try again tomorrow. If she knew she was a mile away, she would have been, I'm chilling.
No,
That's a really good point.
I mean, bro, that's like a life lesson.
Yeah, and so you have to act like you're only a mile away all the time, which is so fucking awful. It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I've been doing it for years. I'm aware that it's fucking terrible. I just worked 2 jobs and I came here and then I'm about to go work again. I know it's terrible, but you gotta.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
If you have faith,
not if you're gonna do this.
Yeah. I always think of this one picture I've always seen on social media. It's basically the same concept. It's the one guy above. It's like a cartoon. He's mining for diamonds, right? And he's mining, and you see him. The diamond is right there, but he's been doing it for so long. He turns around. The guy below him just keeps going, and he hits the diamond.
Yeah, way.
You know what I mean? It's the same shit. It's
And
like
that installs a fear in me, and nothing installs fear in me nowadays, but that does. It's sort of a version of fear of missing out. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I know I've gone far, but I know I can go farther. And how far do I need to go to feel like I've done it? You know what I mean? Like how many songs do I have to put out until Drake hears that one song and reposts it on a story and then everything changes? You know what I mean? That shit could be tomorrow. So I have to do it.
right. No, that's
the right mentality, bro.
Yeah, that really is.
In my eyes.
And it's a tiring one too. That's why not everyone's built for this.
No, that's the thing, because a lot of people can get into that mindset. You know, go a year, go 2 years, and then it's like, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean?
You gotta stay there.
You gotta go. It's gotta be years that you stick with that, and that when you have that mindset, you the people that really aren't there, they get filtered out. You know what I mean? So that's big.
Man, I've seen a lot of filtering out over the past year, man.
Yep.
And one day I'm gonna go into further detail, but it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks a lot to watch some people that you like started with, and they just wither away.
Yeah.
And it happens quick. It's not slow. It's not slow at all. It is, but it never seems slow.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
it kind of just pop out.
It starts in the background,
Yeah.
and you never notice it because they're your boys and you've been working with them all this time. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, and you won't know it's happening until it's gone. Yeah. We had a studio separate to Sinful Saint Studio over in Hicksville. We had a studio set up, and for reasons that fell through. And that was a really hard time on our manager. And over that time, we were like, yeah, we got to tough it out on our own until we can get our shit together. Because, like, shit fell through. Like, we were up before and we've been down before. We've been really up before, now we're really down. Yeah. And so we all gotta kick it up. We gotta kick it up by ourselves, and then we gotta kick it up enough by ourselves that we can come together and help each other get back to where we were.
Hell yeah.
And we started that mission with a calm 20 people. You started, and man, you start making cuts.
Yeah.
You don't make the cuts; they cut themselves. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like they don't care. It's just they might not care enough. You know what I mean? This is something that you kind of got to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna go the independent route.
Oh yeah.
God. If you want to be lazy and independent, go get a job, bro. You should have a job anyway. But go get a job, bro, because this ain't for you.
Yeah. So as like your, for your listeners and your fans, is there something specific that, you as an artist and your brand overall, is there something specific that you want them to take away from you? I know, you mentioned something about, you feel fully yourself. So it's like, is there something that you want your fans to kind of take away from your music?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I was just talking to my manager about this. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a weird conundrum that I'm in, because I do absolutely feel fully myself.
Right.
And I haven't felt that way.
Okay.
Like I thought I felt that way at some points. Yeah. And people will be in my ear like, you'll know when you know. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I know. Now I know that. It feels different. And I am different. And I am me now. But I don't necessarily know what that is. I feel it for sure, and I can express it. But how to brand it, how to market it, I don't really know. Okay. It's because I'm not an outlandish guy. I came to an interview with no chains on, with sweatpants, and with nothing but me on my mind. Nothing but whatever's usually going through my mind on my mind. There's nothing. This is kind of a mean thing to say about myself, but there's nothing particularly interesting about me other than my ideas. Okay. And so I feel like my brand is going to be my projects, which is a rough route to go nowadays because everything's got to be 6 seconds or shorter, super loud or super offensive or super or just super good, super quick, which you could try to be, but I'm not trying to be anything. And that's why I've accepted this role of patience. At one point, there was a crossroads that I was at because I had got really good at a sound and I got really good at being me. And I was like, you can go two ways. You could either, full send this sound and know exactly what you're attracting. That's great for business, but not great on the morale. We'll look at that one later. And then we have me. Me is weird. Me is a weird guy. My ideas are weird. My sound is different. It's good in my opinion, but it's not going to be good to a lot of people, and I completely understand that. It's nearly unmarketable. The stuff that I put, House Cat was a very modern thing. It was a very modern drop. And that EP, that Hazard EP that I put behind it, were all very modern sounds. Right. You know what I mean? They had auto-tune on it. They had some good bass and some good bounce to it.
The beats that you picked were
right. They were decent. They were YouTube beats that I bought. That's what happened. They were good YouTube beats that I found and I bought, and I made the best song out of them. That's what I did. And that's what I was doing for a while. I chopped it up I cut it out to 8 songs, said I wanted to be a really good short one, cut it down to 4. And I was like, I can put this out while I'm working on my weird stuff. Now I have my weird stuff, and I'm like, Hazard was really easy to promote. It was super easy. It was choose a color scheme. Holy P is red now. Boom, done. Choose a sound. I have 100 songs that have a melody in A flat. Let's just go through here. 4 best ones. Boom, done. Let's what's the word? Let's track list it. Let's track list it. Boom, done. It's now made and tailored for a specific audience. I can put hashtag Juice WRLD under something and get 10,000 views off of it because it doesn't sound like Juice WRLD, but it sounds like the type of stuff that Juice WRLD fans would listen to. There's no type of fans that will listen to my music. Okay. And in order to start a style, you kind of have to have something already, which is a weird thing to do. Yeah. So I'm still kind of working through that, but also don't give a fuck. I'll put my 100% in this every day, and I say this with 100% of my heart into it. I will until I die, whether I'm working 2 jobs or not. So while it would be cool for my style that I'm coming up with now to be super successful, and it would be super meaningful to me if it did, I don't want to say it doesn't mean the world if it doesn't, but the music, this sounds mad cliche. The music does mean more to me than the success that comes out of it. Like, this is the first album that I listened through and I cried. I was like, whoa, there's some like real stuff in here. There's some real stuff in here. There's some dark stuff in here. There's some funny stuff in here. There's some personal stuff in here. There's some secret stuff in here. There's some what's the word? Ominous stuff in here. There's production that only producers could catch. Like, this is a album that makes me feel emotionally and artistically woeful because I know I can't make this exact project again. Like, I'm so proud of it, and no one's gonna listen to it. Like under like branding and marketing terms, like, no one should find this album off of an algorithm. You know what I mean? Like, Spotify's not gonna push this.
Yeah, okay.
And that either has to be okay with me or I have to change. Yeah. And I don't really want to change. Yeah. So this is the road that I'm stuck in.
Okay.
It's all right.
I mean, I feel like that's how, people really stand out though. They're doing what you're doing. They don't want to change, Sometimes I think it could be good or bad.
But how many people who stand out are popping up on your TikTok feed. And now let's not get it twisted. There are definitely a few.
Yeah.
I've added a couple songs to my playlist because of stuff that I've seen on TikTok. Right. But also, how many times have I seen the Lil Baby copy? How many times have I seen Ice Spice? Right. How many Juice WRLD AI songs can I listen to? Like the game is flooded with stuff that people already like, and it's gonna be like that until it's not. Yeah. So I have to be patient. Yeah. I can't. Point. It's a weird thing. It's like timing. Point. It's like timing stocks, right? It's like this is falling right now. It's falling for me because I've invested in something that's not hot right now, and what's hot right now is going to be hot for a while, and so I have to be patient. It's like I'm saving on this, and I know that my stock's going down, and I'm like, I know it's gonna go up in 3 years, 10 years. Eventually, that bitch gonna go up, and then once it goes up, I'll be able to succeed off of it. Yeah. But waiting all this time is kind of having me like, fuck. That's why I kind of put out that EP. Like, these are some good songs, and they kind of just chilling in here. I know I'm me or whatever, but these are some good songs. May as well put it out and actually make some damn money this year, because God knows it's gonna be difficult to make some money on the second half of this year. It's gonna be, but I have my years planned, and if it all goes to plan, I'll still be me. But not with as many streams as I want. Yeah. But you can't be obsessed with that.
And again, it'll get there. Right. You know what I mean? You just you stick with your shit.
Consistency.
And the right people are gonna come.
And every now and then you have to. I know it's a long run. This is, and if you don't stop and then look back and be like, damn, I just ran like 12 miles, you'll feel better about the 30 miles you have left to go in front of you. If you just keep running, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm tired. You'll be tired by mile 5. Yeah, I was sitting in my room the other day having my weekly depression that all artists have, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna do this. This isn't working. This is not going well. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? So I went back to that song that I was talking about before that I made in high school, and I saw that it had 1,100 streams, and back then I would have been geeked over that, like, what, 1,100 streams? What the fuck? That's crazy. I'm blowing up. But now I'm like, ew. Yeah. But it's a good thing that I'm like, ew. I have to be like, ew. Right. Because
can't be satisfied.
That means I'm making progress, and I can't be satisfied with 1,100. I just can't. And so I have to. It's so hard to keep in mind because I'm flooded with a bunch of people who are doing better than me, and so I'm like, I know I can do better than these guys. Imagine how good I can be if I try to be better than myself every day. So I try to, but it's hard because I don't often look back and see where the hell I came from. I was not good. I was not good at 2017. I was shitty, and I was posting that shit on Snapchat and what was it before, Vine? Like it was gonna pop off, and that shit was awful, god awful. And my manager and my mom make me keep all my old tracks, and I'm like, why? Please let me delete it. She's like, no, you're gonna want them. And every year she says you're gonna want them, and this year I finally wanted them because I went back and listened, and I'm like, God, it's been a while, and I know I'm not where I want to be, but at least I'm not this trash. That shit was bad.
It's progress, bro. Like baby steps, whether big or small, like it's just progress.
Yeah. I don't like baby steps, but we take them every day. So I gotta get used to
it. Are you actively like kind of like testing like marketing like ideas for your music and your brand? Yeah, you are. Yeah. So what are some things that like you kind of?
Well, I don't. Like I said, I'm independent. Yeah. And so I just take all the information that I can find, and I run with it. And so I've learned that playlisting is necessary because playlisting gets you into editorial playlists. I learned editorial playlists are important because that puts you on radio. I learned radio is important because radio is the literal most organic type of growth you can have on at least Spotify specifically, and I think Apple too, but I'm not exactly sure how to get on Apple radio. And so I realized that you have to drop music and you have to be fairly consistent, or else the algorithm forgets about you. You can't act like an artist that has 1 million followers already. They can drop an album and then not drop an album for 2 years and then come back with some heat and be like, and everybody tune in. If you're a nobody and you drop in 2018 and you're still a nobody in 2020 and you drop again, you just wasted 2 years, which is a weird thing for me to get because I was under the impression that, you know, monkey see, monkey do. I see Drake and I see how he operates. Let me operate like him. That's not how it works, and it's not gonna work. There's no system. There's no set system for success for anybody.
Right.
It all works differently, and it depends on so many things. It depends on what you look like. Depends on what you sound like. Depends on what time you're trying to drop what. You know, you might accidentally drop a summer song in the winter and you don't even know, and it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
So just paying attention. I have to pay attention to the game a lot and the state of the game a lot. And so I know that with people like Jay Bexo and Young Chris coming out and people like you guys heard of them? Those are the type beats that I bought House Cat off of.
Okay.
You know, that House Cat beat bumps.
Yeah.
And it bumps for a reason. It's because you've probably heard 8,000 beats like it
that.
last month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that stuff is not hard to find. It's hard to time my style of music that I want to do because there is no time for it yet. The closest thing to it, I would say, was Earl Sweatshirt's Chum. You remember that? You remember that music video, that black and white shit came out, how many, 2016 did that come out? Yeah. And that was an era. And he created that era himself. And from that era, I probably could have hopped onto it and maybe piggybacked off that hype a little bit if I branded myself right, like targeted the right people and was out enough and made a press run. I didn't know what press runs were back then. I didn't know to do this. I didn't know that this was a medium that was necessary for an artist. I didn't know anything like that. So maybe I could have hopped on then, but there's nobody making music the way I make music. There's people making music like my music, for sure. There's people making music like all types. You know, you just gotta be willing to do research and find them. There's people everywhere. But nobody's making it how I make it. And as a result of that, my music feels different. So I have to catch a feeling. And more than that, I have to, you know how y'all play Fortnite or Call of Duty or something like that. You know them longbow snipers that kind of have a drag to it. They have like a so you have to kind of shoot in front of it just so you can hit a headshot. I kind of have to do that. I have to anticipate when that style is going to be hot, but when that style is going to be interesting. Because I can't do it when it's hot, because then I'm a trend hopper. But I can't do it now because now I'm a failed trendsetter, and it's a weird gray mix
at the right
that
time.
I never gave a fuck about. When did I care about trends? Fucking never. But now I gotta try and make money off it because I want to do this on a daily basis, and I'm tired of cleaning fucking planes, so I gotta worry about it. So it's like I said before, it's like stocks. It's such a business. I hate it. I hate it so much because I got into it thinking there was absolutely no business involved. You know what I mean? I thought this was gonna be some YouTube. You remember how YouTube was back in the day when you just make videos and that shit would pop off. You'd be like, why the fuck do I have 10,000 subscribers one day? You just keep making videos and that shit goes where it goes. It's not like that. And it's not like that anywhere anymore. Just because of the way that the social media is set up nowadays. It just can't work like that anymore. So everything has to be a business, or else you're not going to profit off of it. Or other people are going to profit off of you, which is arguably worse. Because if other people have the ability to profit off of you, other people have the ability to take what you have, take what you've created. That's a weird one. That's a weird one. I'm missing out on a lot of publishing money, money for no fucking reason. But we're gonna let that go because I still don't give a fuck.
Hell yeah.
Are you saying right now though, like you're missing out on publishing money? Yeah.
Okay. A little something. You know, it's not no life changing money. But goddamn it, it'll change my life for the next week. I tell you that. It changed something.
Yeah, no. So it's important to get that shit figured out. You know. Do you perform a lot?
I don't perform a lot, but I do perform.
Okay.
It's been tough for me to perform because, like I said, Long Island is very crabs in a bucket type of place. it's very cliquey. It feels like high school, you know what I mean? There's a certain type of group, and that certain type of group only wants that certain type of group to win. And Royal Flush, the album I was talking about earlier, it was an attempt to kind of disperse that. It sort of worked for a little bit, but you know, it was like slapping. It was like slapping your hand in water. Like you made a little space for a second, but it just. So, you know, it's I had a show in Oceanside. I met a DJ buddy while I was on a break from college, because fuck college, that shit was awful. And I was in like an insurance class or something like that, and he was in there. And we got to talking. I was like, yeah, I make music. He was like, yeah, I DJ. And I was like, oh, cool, you DJ? I just thought, and this is around 2018, 2019. So I'm not just starting to make music, but I'm just starting to take it seriously. So I'm like, oh, yeah, shows. That's exactly what I need. And he's like, yeah, I'm DJing this place in Oceanside if you want to come by and spit something. And I was like, absolutely. That sounds great. It was on a Friday night.
Perfect.
10 o'clock. Perfect. Ocean is a city I've never been in. Definitely some names that I can grab. Got my own DJ and just send him my set. Everything was so smooth.
Yeah.
I got there and there's 3 people in that bar.
Oh, man.
There's 3 people in that bar and 2 of them motherfuckers is eating tacos. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. And then he hands me the mic and I'm like, hi guys, how you doing? I'm here. I'm Cxge. This nigga. This nigga is so focused on his fucking taco, he doesn't give a shit about me. So,
oh man,
I get up there and I do that song Hideaway, and I do it anyway. I took a video of it, so content at the very fucking least.
Yeah,
great. But I did a show for 3 people and not a goddamn person listening. I was up there for 10, 12 minutes and nobody listening. I was like, oh, this is that shit that I've been seeing on the YouTube shorts. You see the videos of rappers and they're like, man, when I was just starting out, I did a show in this little rinky-dink bar and there was 5 people in the joint. Ain't nobody give a fuck about me. And I'm like, you're a little yachty, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
No, it's dead ass.
Yeah,
He was dead ass. Like dead ass. It was 3 people in that motherfucker.
That's
2 of them
great.
enjoying chicken. That was not the ideal scene for me. And so I finished the set. And the DJ pulls me aside, and he's like, you did great. And I'm like, who cares? And so I go to sit down, and one of some guys are like stumbling out of the bathroom, and I'm like, where the fuck were you guys during the set? And then Cut It by OT Genesis comes on.
Yeah.
And remember, I'm 18, 19 at the time, and I'm just getting into the rap scene. This is my first show. And I'm still I'm just getting out of high school. And up until high school, I was a fairly decent kid, I think. Cut It comes on, and these group of white dudes come behind me. I don't even think they knew I performed. I just think they saw that I had my phone out. They were like, put me in one of your chap snaps, obviously drunk. And I'm like, okay. And it pulls out Cut It, and this nigga, if I find the video after, I'll show you guys. This nigga just pulls out dime bags of coke and starts flexing on my thing, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? Oh my! There was 3 people while I was performing, but there's 6 people all in one single person bathroom doing coke, and this is the time you guys want to show love to me?
Crazy.
You fucking suck. Terrible. So the moral of the story: first show was an absolute shit fest. Like you know the typical I lost my virginity stories and how it's terrible. That was my show of virginity. Yeah. Awful experience. 0 out of 10. The second one was a lot cooler. Have you guys heard of Bill Saber? He's I hadn't heard of him either, but I've heard a song from him after I did my research. And my friend sends me this Simple Saint. He sends me this thing on Instagram, and he's like, yeah, they're looking for artists for Amityville Music Hall. Okay. Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, dope, I can do that. I'm thinking it's some open mic thing. And I get a message, and they're like, yeah, your stuff looks fine, you can perform here. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they send me the list of people, and I see the headliner's Bill Saber, and I'm like, okay, sure. I look at him, and he has like 400,000 monthly listeners. And I'm like, whoa, who am I dealing with now? And so I walk into the spot, and there's like 30, 40 heads there. And I'm like, okay, this is about what I expected last year, but not exactly what I expected here.
Yeah.
And I was very confused. And so I had to talk with them, and it was Bill Saber, it was Dauble, and a couple other people, and they were on the Death Plus. They were all on the end of a tour, and they were ending it in Long Island for some reason, and they were just looking for headliners, and I joined them. And so I asked them, I was like, hey, is these what their shows usually look like? And they're like, no, look at these videos. And these videos packed out. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? You guys have at least 1,000 people in this video. I don't even know what the venue looks like. And he's like, we just like performing. I said, interesting. And so and obviously I'm opening for them. They don't know me. So I open for them. I do my thing. The set actually goes pretty well. Except for at one point, I had a feature on a song, and I was so hyped to do it because this guy's older than me, and he was a big producer, but he could also rap. He could rap his ass off if he wanted to, and he sounded amazing on every song he'd been on. So, and I don't know if it was his first time performing, but I got up there, and I feel like performing is natural to me. I don't know why, but I've never had a bad performance. You know, they could obviously be better. I could do more. I could look less awkward, that, and the third. But I've never had I've never got stage fright. Oh, I forgot my lyrics. Started over. I've never been that guy. Never wanted to fold on the mic. But so I walk up there with my confidence, and I start doing my song, and then he comes on, and he is stiff. Like scarily stiff. Like I had just done 2 songs and like got the audience to actually pay attention to me. Not exactly going in, but God damn it, I'm doing it. Like I'm not fucking up, I'm doing it. Like in front of people, this is sick. And he comes on, he's just and I'm like, yo, come on. And it got to the point, he's halfway through his verse, and the DJ had to come up and pick this nigga up and start moving him. Like, yo, come on, move. You're ruining this nigga right now. No lie. And I'm like, fuck this nigga. It was just such a weird little hiccup that I didn't expect because I had so much faith. And you know, he be a big homie. You know what I mean? Not necessarily he's bigger than me in an artist way, but you know, he's older, he's more mature. He obviously knew a bit more about the game than I did when I first met him. So I expected him to kind of be on the same level. That's when I learned that I can't necessarily expect people to be on a certain level.
Right.
And that lesson got taught to me after I got done performing. The performance was cool, and I did my thing, and I got respect from the other artists and this, that, and the third. Got a couple follows. It was a dope thing. It was a dope night for me. But what really got me was their performance. Bill Saber. I haven't been to many concerts. I've seen videos, but even in the videos, Bill Saber puts on a show. And the show that he puts on for 40 people, I just saw a video with him doing 1,000 people, and it was crazy. And I walk into the bar that's across the street from where I used to hang out with my niggas. Like, this ain't shit. He walks in there and he makes it feel like a fucking X concert or something. Like, it's ridiculous. He has the lights going, and he's stomping so hard that he's shaking the entire room. And he never loses. He always this from the mic, perfect, and never got too close to the speakers, and always in eye contact with his DJ, and everything. All the tracks ran smooth, and he knew every single lyric. Some of them I had never thought to do an off-track thing. He did 2 songs completely off track. Like, it was a ridiculous thing. And afterwards, I was like, bro, that was crazy. Why did you do all this here? And he's like, it was on my tour list. I said, and so I didn't expect him, for whatever reason. He had 400,000. I should have paid fucking attention. But for whatever reason, I assumed because he was okay with playing in Amityville Music Hall that he was going to be about on my level. And I assumed that my friend, who I assumed was at a higher level than me, would at least be on my level in terms of performance. And boy, was I wrong. Learned a lot that night, dude. Learned a lot, and I learned about respect for the game. I learned about not assuming people was better than you. That's a very toxic trait, especially in hip hop. You can't do that shit. That was a good show for me for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! So it went from one that wasn't working out to
those a big jump, and
Yeah.
and the jump wasn't even. I mean, it was a jump from 3 people to 40 people. That's not that big a jump, but in terms of the night and the experience and the lessons taught, that was a big night.
Yeah,
Bless you.
that's big. Yeah, but
And bless you. And the third one was weird. I've only done 3 shows in my life, and I'm not proud of that. But one of them I've done this year, so at least I've got a head start on this year. Maybe I can grab 3 or 4 this year. I'm trying to keep it, idealistic. The third one was weird because I was just desperate to do a show. I missed that feeling because I had that feeling before, but that feeling was for taco eaters. It wasn't. But the feeling I had in the second one, I never forget it, dude. And I never forgot how Bill Saber made me feel on the stage that I was just fucking standing on. I was like, and you remember how I was talking about this has to be competition?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I hate this nigga competition. It can be friendly, uplifting competition. Those are the things that I have around me now. That's why I think I'm doing so well now. When he did that, when I saw him get up on the same stage that I was and do so much better than me, I was like, damn, you beat me tonight, but I'm gonna beat you tomorrow night. You know what I mean? And so I was so ready to get back on stage, and then I realized how much branding and marketing comes into play, because you can't just play anywhere. That shit doesn't work out sometimes. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but it wasn't my scene. And while the performance was good, and again the content that I got out of it was good, the reception was not great. The connections that I made were not going to be connections that were going to help me in any point of the time. Not that it was a waste of time. It was definitely good for me to get my reps in, but there are better opportunities. And if I'm going to use my energy and put my name out, I can't, not necessarily sully it, because I wouldn't say I sullied it doing that performance, but I have to respect my name more than other people do, because nobody does. Nobody knows it. So I have to have a certain level. I have to set that bar somewhere so that people meet me at that bar as soon as they meet me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
So if you know any venues around, I'd love to, because it's very hard to get in touch with people nowadays.
Yeah. We're gonna be setting some stuff up here, maybe in the back.
I was looking around and I was like, man, this would be a great place to do some live performances.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna. Yep. So quickly, I wanted to ask, because I know you started writing, right? That was how.
Yeah.
So do you still write everything, or do you ever like freestyle your stuff at all, like when you go to the studio, or is it still just writing?
I'd love to be the guy. I'd love to be the guy so much to be like, man, I just go in there, everything's off the top. It just flows out of my heart into my chest. And I'm like, it's so easy for me. It's not. Not that it's not easy for me. I could freestyle. If you asked me to freestyle now, I could. It just wouldn't be as good as if
it's
I
not going to be meaningful.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If you told me go in the closet and write for 3 minutes, I could get you a song.
Yeah.
I could get you a 4-minute song in 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly. Yeah. But if you asked me to freestyle, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Or at least it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
So I write.
No, that's
that's
not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, it's connotatively a bad thing because freestyling is an art form in itself. There's when you start to write hip hop, you always start boom bap beats. That's just where you start. Right. So when you start to perform, you start freestyling. That's just where you start, because that's where you gain your confidence. That's where you gain your flow, your cadence, your stage presence, this, that, and the third. And I've tried it, and I've gotten good enough at it to where I can write a song in 3 minutes. So honestly, I think that's good enough. Obviously, still working on my stuff, on my craft. But in terms of being in the studio and trying to get shit done, I'm gonna write.
Yeah. So just based off of that, I would assume that when you go to the studio, you have everything already done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The beat is already completely picked out.
Now that does not mean that we don't see a beat and we just write to it, because we definitely do, or we get sent a beat or some shit, and that obviously happens. But I am a huge fan of coming to the studio. Can I yell here? Yeah. I am a huge fan of coming to the studio. Fucking prepared. Huge fan. Oh my God, I love it so much. I hate when I only say this because I was sharing a studio with a very large group for a very long time, and me and the guys who are regulars there, we get it done. Not that we're trying to get done fast, but because we can.
Just the process.
The workflow is
we
there.
can't. Yeah, it's not that we can finish a song and we'll upload it that day. That's never gonna happen. But we can finish a song and then listen to it in the car and be like,
This is it
oh
or
yeah,
not.
this is it.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
back and let's do
Yeah.
this, that, and the third. And we can do that by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can send over files. We send over files like every day.
Right.
So that's what I like. It just sucks when somebody comes to a studio session and the session started at 2 and now it's 6 and I went on and got 3 songs done and Dapper went on and got 3 songs done and Heath got on and got 2 songs done and then somebody comes in and now the next 4 hours is somebody getting 1.5 songs done and I'm like, bro, the whole workflow, come on, you gotta be prepared. And even I feel okay about it, not necessarily great about it, but okay about it if you came prepared and it took you that long anyway.
Right.
Like if you just don't have mic presence like that and you really need to work on it like that, that's what the studio's for.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll schedule another day.
Yeah.
But if you come there and you spend 30 minutes writing like, yo, replay the beat, I got it.
Yeah.
Go the fuck outside, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That shit, oh, that used to annoy me.
Okay. How about some challenges? I know, I guess we talked a little bit about, like, the marketing your music in a certain way. But what are some challenges that you've came across? I don't know, whether it be like, do you ever get like writer's block?
Oh,
Yeah. So how do you kind of deal with those challenges and get over?
I'm gonna be honest, and this is gonna sound really weird to a lot of people. I don't really deal with it.
Okay.
It kind of just happens.
Yeah.
Like I've been in some bad slumps. I've been in some slumps that I'm ashamed of. Like I'm talking 2 weeks without touching the notepad is the worst that it's got, and that's bad. 2 weeks without touching the notepad. I get that I work a lot. 2 weeks without touching the notepad, that's bad. But right after those 2 weeks of not touching the notepad, I wrote 3 of the 4 songs that were on my last EP, including House Cat. So I tried to work myself out of it, but it's always been I write half a song and then I delete it and I'm like, fuck, and I write another song, and it becomes 8 hours of me doing that and still in the same block I was in a week ago. Right. And at some point I kind of just not accepted it, but like I worked knowing that it was gonna come to me when it came to me. Okay. So you tirelessly work, you tirelessly swim, no matter how thick the fog is. And I understand now that it can be a week until I write something good. Mm-hmm. It really could be like that. Mm-hmm. But you gotta keep writing. Yeah. I realized that it's only hard when you stop writing. So I hadn't stopped writing in a while, whether it was good or bad. Yeah. I will sit and I will write 1-word bars. Literally, I will write cash, fast, ass, and be so ashamed of it, and then delete it, and then write 2-word bars if I had to, just to get something that rhymed on a piece of paper, just to get it going, because it is muscle memory. The brain is a muscle, and more specifically, anything that requires some form of art form, I think, is a muscle in itself. It to a degree, like you have to work it. Right. You will lose it if you do not work it. You can be the best artist in the world at 16, and if you don't draw until you're 38 and you pick it up again, you're not gonna be the same.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, especially with music too.
Yeah, and
word.
we could relate because we're also producers. We're music producers. We make beats and everything. So. Sometimes we get beat block and all this stuff, and it's like, sometimes I'll take a break here and there, but I always feel like the most successful getting through beat block is like literally like what you said, just get through it. You know what I mean? Just bounce the beat, just kind of finish it, just so like mentally you're like, all right, I did that one.
Facts.
Go on, so you know what I mean?
Let's at least lay an 808 down.
Yeah. Just get something going.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Put piano behind that and call it a day.
Yeah.
At least you did something today. Come on, bro.
Definitely.
If you go through a whole day without doing something,
you get like you said, you get caught up sometimes, and then the next day you're like, well, I didn't do it yesterday. I don't got to do it today, and then it could just
slippery slope. That is. That's how I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
So. I know we talked like you come prepared to the studio, so obviously you're writing. Yeah. Like, is it like I know we talked like you're a writer first. Has that since you're a writer, has that always been your process? Like, I write first. Like you'll never like it always starts with the pen and pad.
Not necessarily.
No.
Like I said, it depends on how I feel. Because see, that kind of ties into me being very myself. I don't have a necessary routine because I feel like what works for me works for me.
Right.
Only because we're talking about making music right now. In terms of making music, I think I've gone up exponentially every single year. I may not be the greatest, but I am so fucking good right now. So what works. And I just gotta let my brain do its thing. And I think that's why all my music turns out so weird sometimes. And so with that being said, I just do it. Yeah. And so it could be I load up a beat and I freestyle on the beat, and then I freestyle a melody that I like, and then I go back and I freestyle words to the melody that I like, and then that becomes a song. And then there's sometimes I write, like I wrote a battle rap one day, like just in my room chilling, just like I was watching like Charlie Clips or some bullshit like that, and Hitman Holla and I was like, I want to do that, and so I wrote some battle raps, and then I found a beat that didn't have any percussion. Weird ass beat, but I did the battle rap I fit the battle rap so that I could be in the beat. So that's how I made that song. And then sometimes I put on the beat, and then I listen and I write, and then I listen and I write.
Very organic.
Yeah. And it changes every day. Which it's always a surprise to me. I never know how I'm going to write the next song. It's weird.
I think that's dope though.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's
like an element of surprise almost,
because that keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's difficult when I'm working with other people, but when I'm by myself, it's
just being free.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like how if we feel like when we making beats.
Yeah.
And then sit down like, I wonder how the fuck this is gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and it's so,
but
but it's
right
interesting because almost I think I said this to you, every time an artist says I want this style of beat, and then I go and try and make that style of beat, it gets I'm like trying to pulling nails
because niggas is trying to be something they're not. If you would just sit down and listen, let the producer do something for a second.
Yeah.
And if you really feel that strongly about something, be like, just add a hi-hat there and see how you feel about it. And so, things can be done so much more organically than people are doing it. And it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's true.
Because it's the beats that I literally did what you said. All right, let's see what I'm gonna make today.
Right.
Open up the computer and just start going. That's when the best shit gets made.
Yeah. Have you ever watched The Cave? The
Cave,
with Kenny Beats?
Hell yeah.
That was my shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my shit. And that's how I like my studio sessions, low key.
Yeah. Very, very just free and just let's try this, try that. Get in here, let's do that. So that's dope. Do you have any? Did we talk about this earlier? Do you have up and coming releases that you have ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Hazard was my most recent release. That came out May 12th.
Super dope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I worked very hard on that one. I worked on my promoting and marketing skills on that one. So I think that's doing pretty well. The real goal for that project was to give me a bit of time. I wanted to stay current, I wanted to stay relevant, and I wanted to stay consistent. So I put out a single and then a project behind that single. I wanted that to give me time to work on this weird stuff that I've been talking about this whole time.
Yeah, you said that.
And I don't know. It's weird being in a position like this as an artist because I want to talk about stuff and then I don't want to say it. But then also, it's very possible 12 people watch right now, at least on my side.
Yeah.
So like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So I'm working on this album and it's called Anxiety Island.
Okay.
And I have a lot of time and I have a lot of ideas and I'm a filmmaker at heart. So what I wanted to do, the album's basically done. The album's been done for maybe a year and I've just been changing it, making it better and getting more excited about it. And now I want to focus on the cinematography of it. I want to make a series of short films around this album. The album the album essentially is about New York City because it's called Anxiety Island because I believe that New York and all of its boroughs is one anxiety-ridden island. And that's not what the album's about, but that's why I got a lot of the inspiration from it. Because remember when I was like, the city's in our backyard?
Yeah.
I was like, I have to really take into account that it's in our backyard, especially as I'm a music artist. So I've been going out there to, do live performances. I don't know if you saw, I did a live performance in Soho of House Cat. And then, oh man, this is a funny story. So that day, we did 3 live performances. We did one for me, my boy Daplo, and my boy Heath. So we were bouncing around. We went from Soho to Chinatown. We went from Chinatown to Pier 41 on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And we were getting, the silhouette of the bridge and the city and all that. It was cool. And me and Shawty were off to the side and we're just smoking. And these Italian guys may have spoke 4 words of English, and the words were, "Come dance now, please." They just walked up to us and they're like, "Dance, dance." And I'm like, "Yeah, nah, bro, I'm chilling." Da 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 da. And then he said something that low-key hit me. He was... It's weird that it hit me like it did, but I'm such a guy for culture and traveling and stuff like that it hit me. He was like, I'm here one day, I'm never coming back again, probably. I said, whoa. I said, damn. He was like, that's probably the type of person who has been dreaming all the night to come to New York and dance with strangers under the bridge. That's like his dream.
And now he's here.
And he's like, oh, I bet he's a black guy with a white girl. America's fucking awesome. Like, this is, come dance. This is the only day we can. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing out on not being a part of that community. Okay. And so I've just got a whole bunch of stories about going out there, and not stories that I put into the album, but stories that from what I've learned and felt and experienced sort of implanted into the album in terms of its sound and how it feels, maybe even a couple of bars, because it's crazy and I've had a crazy experience. And the short film, I want to be a bit more extravagant. I want to glorify it a little bit, you know what I mean? Because it is what I've been through over there has sounded crazy, and I could do a whole podcast on the stuff that has happened in just Times Square, last week. I could do a whole podcast of what's happened in Williamsburg in the last month. So one time, okay, quick story. One time we were just exploring, or I was exploring by myself, trying to find out cool places in the city, and we found this bar. I found this bar called Pioneers. Okay. And I was like, this is a cool little bar. It has a little Jenga with dares on it, Connect Four, ice drinks. Okay. Cool little date place. So I bring my girl over there. We're walking over there, and we get there, we drink, we smoke, we have a good time. And as we're walking out, we're like, I want to roll up again. And so we stop by the park that's right across from there. And this is not too far. This is a couple blocks away from West 43rd. And this is a little park in between 2 buildings. And we stopped there to roll, and there's a ton of heads there, so I'm thinking we're chilling, even though it's 2 a.m. All of a sudden, I look up, and everybody's gone. Okay. There's about 3 people there, 4 people there maybe. And she's sitting across from me. She's sitting across from me, and I'm sitting across from her. And she's just, her eyes is back here. Yeah. And I'm sitting there rolling on my joint. Yeah. Oh, God. That nigga got a knife.
Oh, my.
Why that nigga got a knife? As soon as I said that, I hear this nigga chuck the Henny bottle at him. Nigga starts walking up with a knife. We like, baby, we gone. we can't be here no more. We cannot. Oh, and I'm like, why does that happen now? Yeah. Why does everybody else get the inkling to leave and then I stay? And then I came to the realization that if you stay in one place long enough, anywhere in New York, something's gonna happen. Like, something's gonna happen. Wow. I could go on and on, but it was a lot of.
So the dude was about to fight with some other guy.
Oh yeah, they were beefing themselves. I was just like, why y'all gotta do that near me? Nigga, I heard him from behind, like I heard his armpit as he threw that shit. Then he said, ugh, and I said, wow.
That's crazy. Man. That's fucking crazy.
Badass fucking city, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that can go on over there.
Crazy. Moral of the story being, I feel like I have a lot to portray. Not as far as my music, or as far as the city, or as far as having anxiety, or as far as being a person who's trying to make it somewhere. I feel like I have an emotion to portray, a specific emotion that can't be named. There's no name for this emotion that I have, and there's no name for the emotion that my album gives me. And it's so hard to make somebody receive the same emotion from an album, just the album, the same way that I have. And I think it would be easier if I did this short film stuff, right?
I 100% agree.
I agree, man.
Right.
And especially nowadays, like, you know, you just see like a lot of visual content, a lot of people that they're putting, it's just all about the reels and the quick, you know, the content and this, so that would just complement.
Again, I'm going to be myself here.
Yeah.
This here is for the reels. That short movie shit ain't for no reels.
No.
It's
like,
not for no
that's for
reels.
the heart.
And again, I am completely okay. It's bittersweet, but I'm completely okay if I put out 9 episodes to the short movie and they all get 200 views apiece. That is okay if I do it the way I did my album.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the way I did my album, it could have 0 views. This is my pride and joy. This album is the work of my life.
Right.
And nobody can take that away from me, which is great. Because I don't think a lot of people have that mindset. And I don't think a lot of artists have felt that way about something they've put out, never mind something they have in the vault. So I'm very happy about that. It's just a whole lot of anxiety releasing that jump because you know it's gotta latch on to the right person. It's so specific that it has to latch. Somebody has to hear my album and think the exact same things that I thought when I was making it. Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult task, but you know, maybe the album's good enough.
Yeah,
Right.
And I think, like we were saying before, bro, it's like you just got to keep doing this shit. Like you said, if it gets 200 views each one, do it the next time. Hopefully, it gets some more and more and more and more. You know,
Right.
but with your background in movie and video, that I think that's something that you got to do.
You got to connect those.
You got to,
for
for
sure.
sure, 100%.
It's tough though.
Yeah,
It's tough being a director and an artist.
I'm sure.
Only because they're so different. You know, being a director is like taking an edible. Like you pop the idea, you let it sit for a while, and then all of a sudden you get up and you have the urge to do that shit. And then the next 6 hours is you doing that shit, and then you crash and you're like, man, that shit was cool.
Yeah.
But a song's like nicotine. Songs just next one.
Yeah.
Next one. And so that became very addicting to me. And I think my mom has a little bit of a problem with this because like I said, I wanted to go to school to be a director or at least to be a journalist, some bullshit like that. I wanted to be in the media, but I really wanted to be a director or at least a cameraman, some bullshit. Mom knew that was what I wanted to do. So when I quit school, she still knew that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. And, you know, my story, I started out trying to make music videos and figured out I'm a way better rapper. And it's pretty fun, too. Yeah. And so it's just been the past 4 years. She's like, when you gonna make that movie you've been talking about? And I'm like, Mom, a movie takes a long time to make. That takes a long time, whole lot of money. I spent $500 on that equipment and I'm busting out 300 songs a fucking month. What are you talking about? I'm about to keep doing this. You wait a minute, I'll figure it out.
But the movie will come. The movie will come. Movies.
It
will.
And I think I've executed this year as well as I could have so far with the bar of not being on social media as much as I should. Definitely should. And that's the biggest problems with me. It's my marketability. I'm not sure if I'm very marketable as an artist, never mind have the ability to market myself. And I can't be bothered. Yeah. I can't be bothered it's all about the music for me. Yeah. So, but, you know, it can't be like that.
Yeah.
For sure. Are there any like some specific goals or like, you know, milestones that you hope to achieve with the music?
In the long term, if I had to pick one, it just to be recognized. I want people to hear Cxge and go, oh yeah, that nigga's fire. That's it. I don't need, Cxge is top 1, top 2, undebatable. I don't need all that. I want people to hear my name and go, oh yeah, I respect that guy. That guy's good. I may not know all of his songs, may not be the biggest fan, but I know that guy's good. Yeah, even if I haven't even heard any of his songs, I know from what people have told me that guy is not to be played with.
Yeah,
that's really what I want. Okay. For this year, I want people to see me. I feel like I'm not getting seen a whole lot. And so I had to figure that out. And as an independent artist with not a whole lot of direction, it was weird. The idea of setting up a press run by yourself, like setting up an interview by yourself, coming to an interview by myself, is weird. I would have felt a whole lot better if y'all just asked me to rap just now. Honestly, there's 3 cameras on me and I would be chilling if I was just rapping. But I've had so much anxiety this whole time that I've been looking for my lighter the past hour and couldn't find it. There's no way I could be like a comedian or some bull. Like, you know how weird that would be? Because at least in music, there's bass going and people jumping around and the lights are flickering around everywhere. But if you're giving a speech or you're a comedian or something, it's just a bunch of niggas.
Just quiet.
Say something funny.
Yeah.
You got to say something funny for some shit to happen. It's like, at least when I'm doing something, something's always happening.
Right.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
But, I want to be seen more this year. I want to get into. I want to host events. I want to be part of events. I want to perform more. If everything goes to plan, not to plan, because I haven't exactly planned it out. But if everything goes where I want it to go, I have a tour at the end of this year.
All right.
Yeah, but that's much harder, much easier said than done. Yeah. But everything I've been doing is much easier said than done. So fuck it.
Like you said, bro, like from the jump, you weren't to think about a tour. You were not thinking about no tours,
right?
So look at where you're at. It's crazy.
Without people like you beside me saying some shit like that, I would have been in my head like, fuck, I need to get 10 shows. I need to get 20 shows. Bro. How many shows did this person have? I need to have at least 10 more.
That's when you shoot yourself in the foot, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You can't walk
bad. I'm gonna stop calling him Dapo because he's Dylan to me. This nigga's my best friend. I mean, when I came back and I started making music, that song Hideaway, I made that with him. All of my best songs obviously been with him. He's just the best artist I've been working with. This nigga and I be having the craziest conversations at 3 a.m. And if anybody heard them, we'd be on suicide watch immediately. We hate this all the time, but we also love this all the time, so we do it. But I'll be chilling on 2K, and it's always funny because we always catch each other on opposite days. Like I'm feeling great about, I just dropped and I had a lead single, so first week streams through the roof. I'm chilling, I'm up drunk playing 2K or something. He'll call, he'll be like, bro, I'm gonna fucking end it. I'm like, wait, what? hold on. Yeah. It's like I've had writer's block for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
That shit is funny,
bro.
So
what are some goals? Like you're always not goals. The plan going into 2024.
2024, I want to put 4 albums out.
Okay.
That's a lot. I don't think a whole lot of artists are doing that. Not on multiple streaming platforms, and for decent reason. The game is already pretty saturated. Everybody and their mother is doing music, and everybody and their mother wants to make money from doing music, which that's the game. But what I think is going to set me apart from those people, at least next year, is that if everything goes to plan and I get my short film done and I get this album out the way that I want to this year, I would have created a catalog, an unreleased catalog, so worthy of being uploaded that it has to be on some of these albums.
It's undeniable,
right? And then I just finish them and I make them how I want, and it's not an issue for me to make 4 albums fast. And fast is not 2 weeks. I'm not making 4 albums in 2 weeks and then throwing it together and calling it a day. I'm making hundreds and hundreds and possibly thousands of songs, and I'm choosing between them very carefully and systematically and unironically. And I sit and I can do these things because I feel like I've worked hard enough to where I can make a good song and it possibly be on the track list every time I go into the booth. And I have a lot of confidence in that. Like I said, I'm pretty arrogant by this point. There's a lot of people that aren't willing to put out 4 albums in a year. because the game's so saturated. And that's all akin to somebody caring too much. And my question is, what's the worst thing that happens to a person who puts 4 albums out in a year? Answer that question. What's the worst thing that can happen to an artist that puts out 4 albums in a year?
I would say the worst thing that could happen is just someone say, "Oh, why'd you put out 4 albums this year?"
That shit doesn't matter. That's in one ear, out the other.
I know. That's
what's
what I
the
mean.
worst thing that can happen?
They all flop.
They have 0 streams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah.
You could have put that whole year into one album. That should have 0 streams.
Yeah, like that's
Now-
very, very true.
Now, I could make 4 albums that I'm proud of and have 0 streams, or I can make 1 album that I'm proud of and have 0 streams. Who had the better year? The guy who made 4 albums. Because he had more fun. He's more proud of himself. He's more fulfilled. And above all 3 of these, this nigga got a lot better.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
nigga got better at recording music. He got better at releasing music. He got better at marketing music. He got better at budgeting because he did that 4 times. People forget that needs practice too. There's a lot of people who go in the booth and they're like, "Yeah, I got my practice in today." And I'm like, "Word," but did you key log your Google ads? Did you send into blogs? Did you the amount of money my manager has spent on blogs that have not reached back out, like that junk is crazy. Like on the sheet to try and get one of these interviews, there was a line and it said, "Do you have any blogs or posts of anybody talking about you that may be helpful in this interview?" And I said no. And you know what's crazy? Not yet. I like that. But you know what's crazy? Me and Dylan together have put well over $600, $700 in the past 2 years just sending into blogs in hope that they will come back. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that a blog gets back to you because you paid them to try.
Right.
They can take your $10 and say fuck you.
Yeah.
Every single time. And in my case, they have. And that shit sucks.
Yeah.
But you never know. I drop Hazard, and then I have this, and then somebody listens to a clip off of this, and then they check Hazard, and then the Hazard like, "Oh, this is great," and then they tell this person now that's something. You never know. So you got it's endless hustle.
You heard it best, man. King Cage.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming down, man. For
I'm
real.
out here, and I'll be back soon if y'all let me. This is fun, and I'm trying to record back there.
Hell yeah, we'll set
The
something
cameras ain't showing this little setup.
Yeah,
Man, they showing some cool stuff, but they not showing what's in this motherfucker. It's Sink or Swim got it going. I'm not gonna lie.
So IG handles just so people can find you.
Official KCX on Instagram and TikTok. King Cage, Cxge on Twitter, and all of my streaming platforms, Cxge. If you listen now, you're probably gonna have a good time. If you listen in 3 months, maybe. Either way, I appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
And we'll see where it goes.
Hell yeah. King Cage, appreciate you being here, my
I
guy.
appreciate y'all. This is fun. Y'all cool as fuck.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, this has been the Aqua Lounge Podcast.
Keep watching, stupid.
Thanks for kicking it with us. Peace.
Yo, Marlon, where you at? Yo, Marlon, where you at? where you at? Yo, Marlon, 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 where you at?